Clari-T Media. Clari-T. Yeah. Listen up. Black people. Ice Clean, Smith & Wesson Beam. It's a media theme. Clari-T inspiring. Requirements never tiring. Laundry list you never miss. No wishing. Best media on display. Problem solved out the way. Magnitude, Godzilla. Selling more power than Jay Thriller. Getting backlash, cash stash so we can grow. Clear out on the air, you better go. Ancestors need us to be bold. Smart enough to live another day. Get it right. Solving problems quick without non-descendants up in our mix. Race soldiers getting help. Turning backs and watch and let you shoot. Clarity, bright, speaking truth. No help, have to help ourselves. Raise up if not for nothing else. T-technical, scientific, qualified. Always with it. Come through, rock with a few. Drip lit like a spotlight. Just winning, media life spinning. Media life spinning. Media life spinning. Just winning, media life spinning. Media life spinning. Media life spinning. Enemies outside, enemies within. We gotta stop it. Know it's a profit. Burden heavy, broken levy. Meant to you now and forever. Politics is what she's speaking. Good mental health needed. Lift each other, don't trip. If your brother slip, extend grip. Make cash flip, pay each other. That's a good look, need each other. Deep inside, it's survival. Jump in together, no rival. All the content's original. If you hear it, listen and share it all. Then you should've played with all your heart. Clara sticks it to him like a dart. And have the aim of archery to mark. Melanin made them all envy. Experimenting, cause they saw me blow by a NASCAR race. Nah, better space boost pace. Yeah. Nah, better space boost pace, boy. Just winning. Media life spinning. Media life spinning. Media life spinning. Just winning. Media life spinning. Media life spinning. Media life spinning.
We acknowledge our Mother Earth that gives us life, nourishes us, and is our greatest partner. We act with reverence, respect, and reciprocity in all that we do. We acknowledge the first peoples who have lived and thrived on these lands for thousands of years and who have kept this sacred relationship alive for all of humanity. Here in the Bay Area and in California, we acknowledge the Ohlone Indians and the African American people who have been living on these lands since time immemorial. We acknowledge all of our ancestors that have walked and stewarded these lands before us and those that continue to walk with us on this journey to a more harmonious world. We acknowledge our responsibility to think of those yet to come and to leave them a world that is capable of providing abundant life. With love in our hearts, we say merci. Thank you. We acknowledge the indigenous Indians and Africans who were forcefully removed from their native lands and dispersed across the New World. This involuntary relocation and forced migration heavily contributed to the movement of African Indian descended people across the African diaspora and the Americas. And here we are today to analyze and discuss reparations and how to make amends to right the wrongs of social injustice and war against these people. There is a long history of harm. Therefore, reparations can take many forms depending on who is demanding the repair. Support the San
Today's
Francisco
live
African
stream is being
American
brought to you
Reparations
by
Advisory
Clari-T
Committee as they
Media.
tackle
Support the San
important
Francisco
issues.
Dreamkeeper
They need your
Initiative,
involvement to develop
recognizing
policy
and investing in the
recommendations.
diverse
Make your
Black and African American communities of San Francisco with a wide range of programs to support youth, families, seniors, and members of the Black LGBTQ+ communities. Dreamkeeper San Francisco is fostering hope for generations of Black people to feel free to dream boldly. Visit dreamkeepersf.org today. Tune in weekdays to the Bay Area Mental Health Hour on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. You'll find us covering issues surrounding your everyday coping skills and your mental health and wellness. And remember, your mental health matters as much as your physical health.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm the founder of Taylor J Collection. We are a women's contemporary clothing brand located right here in Oakland, California. The journey of a woman comes with many changes, and that's why we are very intentional about all of our designs and collections. We make sure to provide elevated comfort, sustainability, versatility, and of course, style. If you're in the Bay Area, come by, say hi, and take some comfy pieces home to add to your closet. Shop with us online at taylorjcollection.com.
Hi there, everyone. Alicia Mayo of Clari-T Media. So glad you could join me tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for joining me tonight. Hopefully, I'll have some folks joining me in the green room. Come on in if you have the link. I sent out the StreamYard link so that you could join me tonight to share your family experiences, your personal or individual experiences in the city of San Francisco, in particular, when it comes to past harms. Yeah, we may not spend much time thinking about the things that have happened to us regarding work, regarding school, regarding our housing situations, but we all know that racism exists. We all know that there have been things done intentionally to keep us from progressing as a people and, being a part of normal society, being a part of an economic movement or a movement to gain freedom. That was intentionally done to keep us from competing or, sharing the wealth. Okay, it's a very simple thing to understand. It doesn't have to be so traumatic. We don't have to look at it as re-traumatization. We don't have to look at it as something so difficult, for us to look at. We just need to just accept the reality of the prejudices and the discrimination and the racist behavior of others. It had nothing to do with us. There were attempts and successful attempts, and now we are recovering. We are in recovery. Some of us have recovered, but nevertheless, the harm was done, and now the repairs must be made. Okay, so we are about repairing. We are about reparations. We are about moving forward. We are about progress. Okay, and getting to places in our lives where we can realize true freedom and true justice. Okay, so with that, the African American Reparations Advisory Committee, they've gotten together, a group of about 11 folks or so, and they were voted into this committee in San Francisco to do the work of researching and finding out what has been done in the past in terms of recovering and repairing the harm, and any research that's been done by others before us, because this is nothing new. The movement for reparations is nothing new. This has been an ongoing fight as a part of our civil rights movement as a people. It continues now here in 2023, and in San Francisco in particular, in a real substantial way, thanks to Supervisor Shimon Walton, thanks to the Human Rights Commission being led by the Executive Director, Dr. Cheryl Evans Davis, and to other political individuals, including some of the Board of Supervisors, some of those supervisors who agreed that reparations must be made for Black San Francisco, okay? And speaking of the Board of Supervisors, we are having another and our final meeting with the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco on September 19th, beginning at 3 p.m. Let me share that flyer with all of you so that you are aware, so that you cannot say that you did not know about it, because we all need to be there. We all need to take part in this rally so that we can let all of our voices be heard in unison, because in unity there is power. Okay, so please, if you can, make the rally at 12 noon, September 19th. That's a Tuesday, on the steps of City Hall, to rally for reparations and to rally to get us kind of all motivated and excited and inspired to take part in the hearing that will follow the rally. The hearing will begin at 3 p.m. in the Board of Supervisors in City Hall Room 250, okay? Please join in person. And if you can't join that rally and that hearing, you can join in person for the hearing by visiting www.sfgovtv.org. Again, that website is there at the bottom of the rally there, www.sfgovtv.org. Make sure you let your voice be heard and share that information with friends and family who may be eligible for reparations. You don't want to miss this opportunity. This is a historic time for San Francisco, for Black Californians, and for the world of Black people, and as far as I'm concerned, because in fact, what happens in San Francisco will affect other Black folks around our nation and around the world, okay? We will make history with this again. So let your voice be heard at the Board of Supervisors hearing for the final reparations recommendations in San Francisco, along with the African American Reparations Advisory Committee and the San Francisco Human Rights Commission. We will all be there in unity on September 19th. That's Tuesday. The rally begins at 12 noon, and then the Board of Supervisors will hear the final recommendations for reparations on September 19th. This is an extremely, extremely important meeting, okay? And again, if you can be there, please be there. If you can't, you can visit again, www.sfgovtv, and you can join the conversation there. Okay, having a little water, I have a dry throat. Let me turn off my air conditioner just for a moment here. That might be part of the problem here. Okay, so tonight's conversation was an effort to give you an opportunity to say what you need to say and to speak up on behalf of yourself and your families regarding reparations. Okay, what is your story? What is the story of your family in San Francisco? Do you have a story to tell? If you don't want to be on camera, you can join me by just turning off your camera. You can leave your microphone on. It'll look like this, okay? So if you don't want to be seen, but you'd like to have a conversation about your experience in San Francisco regarding any harm that was done to you in San Francisco or to you and your family, okay, over the years, things have been done to us to keep us out of normal, successful society, okay? Intentionally done. Imagine that. Imagine harm that's been done just to keep us from being able to have housing and fair opportunities for education and employment. Imagine that. Why would people be so cold? Why would people be so mean? There are lots of reasons for it, but they have nothing to do with us as a people. Okay? We did not inflict the harm. Okay? So that's the good thing. That's the good news. Let me change my background. You guys like my background? That's San Francisco in the background and some folks at the shoreline in Oakland looking over uh, at San Francisco and the Bay Bridge there in the background. So I created these graphics to make these live streams interesting and not so boring. Okay. All right. So let me say also that I've gotten some questions from friends and family about eligibility for reparations. Okay. So one question was, let me look at my phone here and get the actual question. They asked, about eligibility, and I had to try and answer as best I could, but this is what I believe will help. So the question is, hold on a second here. Thanks for joining me. Alicia Mayo here of Clari-T Media saying thank you for joining me. All right. Let's see. She asked, what's the best way to determine if we are descendants of slaves? Well, my answer to that question was to do your ancestry DNA. Okay, so order the ancestry DNA kit online, and they will mail it to you. You will share your saliva, and they'll do the testing. I had that done myself, and the information came back to me in the form of my alleles and my genealogy back to Africa, and where we came from, and then where we landed in the United States. I also have ordered my African ancestry kit, okay? And this is the Metriclan maternal lineage test kit. So you can order this as well online and share your saliva in this test. And then this will give the details about which tribe. It says, I'm reading here, it says, discover the roots of your family tree and transform the way you define yourself with African ancestry, which is a little different than Ancestry.com. The pioneer of genetic ancestry, tracing for people of African descent specifically. Okay, so you want to get your ancestry testing done so that you can, that's proof right there to prove that you are a descendant of slavery. Okay, unless you have already done the research in your family tree and history and you already know all of that, then you don't have to do that. But if you don't, those are two good ways to prove your ancestry to slavery. Okay, because as far as I know, the people who are eligible for reparations in San Francisco and in California have to prove their descendancy of slavery. Okay, and so that's one way to do it. But speaking of criteria and eligibility, let me see what page is that. I've taken some notes to make sure that I can share some really important information for you about what's happening in San Francisco, how you might be eligible for reparations, what some of the key findings have been in the research conducted by the African American Reparations Advisory Committee, and what the recommendations are for reparations. Okay, so let's see here, page 121. So I'm going to share my screen with you here. Let's see. And I'm going to go to page 121, where it should give us some answers about, let's see, the report. Okay, so the African American Reparations Advisory Committee conducted research, and they produced two very important reports to substantiate and to um, support the previous reports that were already done on reparations for San Francisco and why and all of that. And in their table of contents for the reports include the methodology, the background of the methodology, including other reports, the introduction, Part 1, San Francisco's history of housing and land discrimination and harm to its Black residents. Also in Chapter 1, it covers the historical timeline, how San Francisco built an unequal city. And that is on page 11 of Chapter 1. Early settlement through 1860, first Black arrivals and departures, drawing boundaries, early land use ordinances, labor unions, and segregated education, turn of the century, slow growth and limited opportunities, spatial control, including zoning, covenants, redlining, and terror, World War II, population boom and housing crisis, justifying Black removal, the foundations of urban renewal, all of this that happened in San Francisco. Dispossession and displacement and the demolition of the Fillmore district, racial consequences of growth, conflicts, rezoning and development, dot-com boom, the tech boom, and gentrification's racialized impacts. And that's something that's happened most recently. And moving on through the chapters, the reports include the Black community in a gentrified San Francisco, and it concludes there. And then in Chapter 2, a Fillmore case study, Black disenfranchisement through the lens of Victorian Village, Jimbo's Bop City, Marcus Books, and the destruction of the Fillmore, the value of real property appropriated from the Fillmore. And in Chapter 3, harms from housing discrimination, the wealth gap, the Black tax, and property-based wealth amplification. The Black tax and property-based wealth deprivation. Okay, a lot was done. My gosh, segregation, housing discrimination, and the intergenerational nature of the wealth gap, quantifying the harm of racial discrimination in terms of the wealth gap, and so on. Part 2 includes compounding harms. San Francisco's housing discrimination has damaged other aspects of Black life. Let's see. How students of color have historically been excluded from San Francisco schools, where Black families are concentrated and have continually been underserved, separate and unequal education, or educational inequality in San Francisco. And down here on page 59, COVID-19 and how it exacerbated existing educational disparities in San Francisco and across the state for that matter. A friend of mine and I were talking about that earlier and how her son is still recovering from all of the setback as a result of the shutdown of the schools and everything. And how, people with resources and income and the money to pay for private education, how their children were able to continue their academic plans with private education, as compared to the public schools, and who makes up the majority of the students in public schools. Moving on through Chapter 5, compounding harms to Black employment, housing nexus, historical barriers to employment, a divided workforce, how Black San Franciscans have been excluded from the city's economic gains. Chapter 6, environmental injustice, compounding harms to health. Chapter 7, compounding harms and health inequities, and so on. So again, the San Francisco African American Reparation Advisory Committee did this work. They did a lot of work, as you can see. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And the summary of harms to the social fabric is on page 111, and the conclusion is on page 113 with all the works cited and all of that. Okay. Let me go to page 102 where the recommendations are. Let's see. Yeah, there are recommendations here for reparations. And what are they? You might be wondering. You might be wondering what the recommendations are. You may or may not agree with these recommendations, but if in fact you are eligible for excuse me for flipping through these pages like this. If you are eligible for reparations and you you think you want to make sure that you receive reparations, then and you don't agree with the recommendations that have been put forth, and that will go before the Board of Supervisors again on September 19th, then you should have been a part of all of this work. They were holding public meetings on a regular basis for over a year. And if you were never a part of those meetings, you still have a chance to make your voice heard. Okay, so don't be alarmed just yet. Okay, you still have an opportunity to get involved, and I'll show you how in just a second. Here, let me go and find our page. Okay, so there's a page for recommendations, but now I want to share this flyer about the listening sessions that are coming up. We have our first one today in San Francisco in the Bayview Hunters Point. All right. The very first listening session happened today, and there it is. Okay. There it is. The very first community engagement session happened today at the Bayview YMCA at 1601 Lane Avenue. That was today, Wednesday. It started at 4 p.m. And the next listening session where you can make your voice heard, you can talk about what is important to you as far as reparations are concerned. You can say what you want, what you would like to see for reparations. And let me take this off second here. Yeah, what you would like to see, what you want to happen. If you have questions about the recommendations or the timeline, any of that, this is the time. These dates listed on this flyer will be the times for you to show up and make your voices heard. So the next listening session will happen tomorrow in the Western edition, okay? And that will happen at the Honey Yard Studio on Sutter Street there. Let's see. Let me get the exact address. I can't really see that on the screen, so let me pull my copy up here. And thank you again for tuning in. This is Alicia Mayo of Clari-T Media, thanking everyone out there for tuning in and joining me here this evening for this conversation about reparations, okay? Okay, so the next listening session for the public in San Francisco will happen tomorrow evening at 5:30 in the Western Edition at the Honey Arts Studio, and that's located at 1981 Sutter Street, okay? And there are other dates there where the listening sessions will continue. September 5th in Potrero Hill, September 6th in Bayview. They'll return there to the Dr. Davis Senior Center, beginning at 5:30 p.m. And also Potrero Hill will begin at 5:30 p.m. as well. September 7th, you'll find listening sessions in the Lakeview OMI area at IT Bookman, beginning at 5:30. September 7th, in the Tenderloin at the Kelly Cullen Community Center. Okay, and then the last community listening session will occur on September 17th in the Tenderloin at Glide Memorial Church. Okay, and that's September 17th. That's just 2 days before the hearing will take place at the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco. The rally will begin on the steps of City Hall at 12 noon, September 19th, and then the Board of Supervisors hearing will begin at 3 p.m. in City Hall room 250, and that's where The African American Reparations Advisory Committee will make their final reparations recommendations to the Board of Supervisors, and hopefully the Board of Supervisors will then vote on legislating reparations for Black San Franciscans. Okay. Also support San Francisco reparations. Okay. You can support reparations for Black San Franciscos by signing the endorsement form. Visit bit.ly, that's bit.ly /capital ENDORSE, that's endorse SF reparations. Okay. Again, sign the endorsement form and show your support for reparations for Black San Franciscans by visiting bit.ly /endorse SF reparations. And that's all case sensitive. And if you'd like to learn more about endorsing SF reparations, visit sfreparations.org. You can also find the final reports there as well. Alicia Mayo here of Clari-T Media, thanking all of you for tuning in this evening. Okay, I want to know what your reparation stories are. What are your experiences? What has your family experience been? So far, I don't see anyone joining me, and that's too bad. But don't you worry, I have my own personal stories. Okay, and I may tell one or two and then I'll let you go. But tonight's information is really important because this reparations movement continues. It continues, and it will continue even after the final recommendations have been made on September 19th with the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. That's because there are a lot of people, there are so many people dedicated to seeing this through, and they are not just in San Francisco, they are all over California. And thank goodness for that. We have that fighting spirit, that civil rights movement spirit that still lives in many of us. And we are doing the work that started so many years ago with our ancestors who worked and gave up their lives, literally, so that we could be free. Again, thank you for joining me tonight for this conversation. I will be back. Let me take care of a little business and let's do some commercial breaks. And then I'll come back with a story or two. And then I'll wrap it up for the evening. But I wanted to say thank you. Share this information. Oops, lost the earring. Share this information with your friends and family. It's really important. All right. See you in a few.
If you'd like to be a guest or suggest show ideas, drop us an email or a direct message. We'd love to hear from you. Clari-T Media, human stories, grassroots solutions. Subscribe, like, follow, and share. The Bay Area Mental Health Hour, Clari-T Conversations and We the People. Building trust for the first time. Out of chaos comes clarity. Clari-T Media. Drip lit like a spot, just winning. Media life spinning. Media life spinning.
Tune in weekdays to the Bay Area Mental Health Hour on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. You'll find us covering issues surrounding your everyday coping skills and your mental health and wellness. And remember, your mental health matters as much as your physical health. Today's live stream is being brought to you by Clari-T Media. Support the San Francisco Dreamkeeper Initiative, recognizing and investing in the diverse Black and African American communities of San Francisco with a wide range of programs to support youth, families, seniors, and members of the Black LGBTQ+ communities. Dreamkeeper San Francisco is fostering hope for generations of Black people to feel free to dream boldly. Visit dreamkeepersf.org today.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm the founder of Taylor J Collection. We are a women's contemporary clothing brand located right here in Oakland, California. The journey of a woman comes with many changes, and that's why we are very intentional about all of our designs and collections. We make sure to provide elevated comfort, sustainability, versatility, and of course, style. If you're in the Bay Area, come by, say hi, and take some comfy pieces home to add to your closet. Shop with us online at taylorjcollection.com.
I'm getting up real early in the morning. Today, I'm really gonna be on it. I recognize right now is my moment. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, yeah. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, yeah. I got this. Yeah, why would you build me up just to break me down? Why would you break me down just to build me up, yeah? Why would you ever think anything I do is luck, yeah? Started from the bottom, now I'm up in this stuck. Niggity. Everywhere you go here around the city, niggity. Individuality is what I'm bringing, yeah. It be times when I indulge. I've been working hella hard on my goals. Will I survive on my toes? Only God and Beyonce knows. I'm a child of destiny, keeping it rolling like Kelly. Well, Nelly, I ain't trying to be in no dilemmas. You better use your antennas. You will want to get tapped in, be up on your Bojangles. Attack the game for all angles, like Bojack. I'ma get my cheese and you Kodak. I'm never gonna lose my way. I'm never gonna lose my faith. I put in that work in every day on my purpose, not my pay. I'm never gonna lose my way. I'm never gonna lose my faith. I put in that work in every day on my purpose, not my pay. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, yeah. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, yeah. Hey. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. I'm on it, I'm on it. Like a thief stealing the watch, I'ma take my time. Call Tony Hawk, yeah, I'm back up on my grind. Yeah, simplify things, don't make it so complicated. Right when you create it, you already made it. Some people play basketball with football rules, so everything you do, they gon' say that you lose. Yeah, but I ain't going for none of that trickery. You ain't gotta feel me, I'm feeling me. They be saying I got good energy, you don't qualify to be my enemy. I'm never gonna lose my way, I'm never gonna lose my faith. I put in that work every day, on my purpose, not my pay. I'm never gonna lose my way, I'm never gonna lose my faith. I put in that work every day, on my purpose, not my pay. I know at times it get challenging, but never lose your way, just keep battling. Yeah, we keep it rocking like an avalanche, and one day they'll get the message cause it's heaven sent. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, yeah. I'm on it, I'm on it, yeah. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, yeah. I'm on it, yeah. I'm on it, yeah. I'm never gonna lose my way. Never gonna lose my way.
All right, that was Love More of the Bay Area, young brother, young talent, dear friend of mine. I love that young man because his message is so positive and so inspirational for young folks, for us grown folks. You know, we can stand to take some time and listen to the younger voices. You know, as you can see, we're not getting any younger. I don't care how much you think you are going to last forever. You're just not. That is not going to be the case. We need to plan for the future, for our retirement, and pass on all of this knowledge, all of this energy, all of this hope, and all of our resources. I mean, any homes that we've gained, any money that we saved, what are we going to do with it? Take it to our graves? I mean, seriously, we need to pass on this knowledge to our younger generation and our children, our grandchildren, and we need to prepare them for the world that they are inheriting. Right? So we know better. Now we're going to do better. All right. It's really, really, really important that we really get serious about our roles right now. I'm 58. I just turned 58 on Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But I understand my responsibility. At 58 years old, I need to be preparing my sons, and I am the best I can. I can do a better job, and I want to prepare for my grandson's life. Okay, so I want to implore all of you to do the same. Share this information, share this live stream, share the report. Go and visit www.sfreparations.org. Let me go to the banner here and share that website again for the report number 1 and report number 2, published and produced by the San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee. Both reports and the final recommendations are all there. Look for resources and then pull down documents, and the reports are there for you to read yourself, to see what they're asking for. And believe me, what happens in San Francisco will happen in other parts of the state of California, as well as on the federal level, okay? Nationally. Reparations will happen for more than just San Francisco and Illinois. I think it was Illinois. They got the first settlement, the first reparations settlement for Black folks. That just happened just not too long ago. I think it was Illinois. Okay, so San Francisco will actually be the first settlement that is the largest settlement. Okay, so we'll set a precedence, and we have set a precedence by some of the programming, some of the programs and the initiatives that have begun in San Francisco. For example, the Dream Keeper Initiative. See the Dream Keeper Initiative, that logo there? Yes, and I'm one of the very first storytelling and narrative shift cohorts within the Dream Keeper Initiative, and I am proud to be in the first cohort. Yes, Clari-T Media is honored to be a recipient of the Dream Keeper Initiative Storytelling and Narrative Shift Cohort for Black San Francisco. All right. Clari-T Media is all about human stories and grassroots solutions. I come from a world of corporate media where when I was working for Nexstar and KCBS and KPIX and KRON, Cron 4 Television and iHeartMedia and Westwood One, and I made it to those newsrooms, and I was quite often one of maybe 3 Black people in the entire newsroom. Okay? That was the case for me, sometimes the only one. And then becoming a news anchor for KCBS and iHeartMedia in the whole northern region of California. There was me. Yeah, there was me. All right. And so what I found with that, although I was happy to be there, why was I the only one there? And then when I did make it, I was only making $30 an hour. Go figure. As a national news anchor, reporting news and information to millions, 30 plus million. $30 an hour? I don't think so. I was worth much more
But why wasn't I paid more? I was in the union. I was paying union dues like everyone else, right? That's just one of my stories. One of those stories about how my life can use some repair. Like, had I been paid worth what I'm worth or what my work was worth, or compared to other news anchors that were on the air, I wonder what they were making. I know I couldn't live or survive on $30 an hour reporting news, national news for a national news outlet like CBS. I couldn't live on $30 an hour. You hear me? I could not. And there were other times when I was working for Bank of America and I had to deal with sexual harassment out of this world by a manager who would not stop. And because I reported him, all of a sudden I was moved to another bank. And when I got to that bank, I was harassed daily. And then that old manager would show up at that branch and harass me at the other branch. Yeah. I could go on and on and on with the discrimination. Let me give an example on behalf of my family. My mom, a single mom, running a business in San Francisco where she could barely keep up with her business taxes. She didn't have any understanding or any real education about accounting, and all of that. And so she had friends who helped her along the way with her business, gave her some information, here and there. She did her best. She had barely a high school education. I don't know if she even graduated from Galileo High School, but she managed to start her own beauty salon in Union Square in the Brooks Brothers building. Go figure. Brooks Brothers were the clothing manufacturers who used slaves to pick cotton and create their cotton apparel years and years and years ago. But years and years and years later, my mom ended up renting a business space from the Brooks Brothers. And in that building, I think my mom's rent at that time in the 80s, early 80s, was like $3,000 a month. She had really good clientele who paid well, but she was still struggling to pay her rent. And why was she even paying rent to the Brooks Brothers? Why were they even in business? Bank of America, right? Now they discriminated against Black folks when it came to lending practices. Okay, if you wanted to get a home loan and you went through Bank of America for that home loan, even though you had money in the bank, like my grandparents, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, my mother couldn't get a home loan from Bank of America so she could own a home. She was renting while she was running a business, paying city taxes, business taxes, and other taxes, sales tax, and my grandparents were paying property tax, but my mom couldn't get a home loan, so she had to continue to rent her house where we lived as a family. Myself, the oldest, my two younger brothers, and my mom, and she just couldn't. She couldn't do both. She was a single parent, of course. My father from Vietnam. Once he got home from Vietnam after serving his time there as a young man, I think he enlisted at 21. He came back home all messed up, addicted to drugs and alcohol because of what he had seen, and he didn't have any help. He eventually succumbed to a drug overdose on the streets of San Francisco and Hunters Point in 2008, which was the same year that my younger brother was murdered in drug wars, right? Trying to
make a life for himself, trying to make money, trying to help his mom out, and on and on and on, incarcerated constantly, never given an opportunity to legalize his marijuana business, which it was, like a whole bunch of others who were in the business and now who are legal today. Instead, my brother is in his grave. I could go on and on and on with these stories of harm done to my family in ways that systems kept us out of being able to thrive economically. Systems that kept me from being able to graduate high school, graduate college. I mean, eventually I graduated college in 2017 at 51 years old. I actually started college in 1996. I graduated high school barely. I ended up having to take the GED because counselors and support in high school was non-existent. It wasn't that I was slow and I couldn't understand the work. I didn't have the family support. I had to try and raise my little brothers while my mom worked, barely making it to school, barely having a young life, a normal teenage life, because I had to support my mom. But yeah, I eventually graduated college 2017 after taking out loans that I will never pay back because I just don't have the money. President Biden just forgave like $23,000 of my student loans, but I still have another $25,000 in student loan debt. I don't know how that will ever be paid because I still struggle to have regular employment. That's why I created Clari-T Media, a nonprofit media organization, now a Dream Keeper of San Francisco. And thank God for the Dream Keeper initiative, allowing me to be a cohort in the very first, in the first year of the Dream Keeper initiative. The Dream Keeper initiative saved me from absolute, unavoidable homelessness or moving back home with my mother at 50 something years old. So I've been able to sustain myself through the efforts of the really brave political individuals like Shaman Walton and Mayor London Breed and Dr. Cheryl Evans Davis and the rest of those folks who are fighting for economic justice, educational justice, healthcare justice for Black San Franciscans. Thank goodness for those who have fought for opportunities, for resources, because I don't know where I'd be today. And that's why I'm so dedicated to this. That's why I'm so dedicated to this. And I want you all to be just as dedicated. If you love me or care anything about me, please get involved in some way. Make your voices heard. Attend the meeting on September 19th, virtually or in person. Share this live stream with your friends and family. Get involved with this San Francisco reparations movement today, because reparations will happen for us. We are setting ourselves free as we speak, okay? And we will not give up. We will not give up. We will continue to fight like our ancestors have. So, yeah. So those are a few of my stories. I just kind of wove through some of that information really quickly, but I just want to say thank you to everyone out there watching Clari-T Media tonight here with human stories and grassroots solutions. That's what it's all about. It's all about grassroots organizing, getting your courage up, getting the confidence up, and uniting with your communities and with other folks, allies who want to support this hard work, this good work, right? I forget what John Lewis called it. What did he call it? Good.
Anyway, thank you again for tuning in. So let me just check out a couple things here to make sure that we have covered everything. Oh, let me go to the recommendations really quickly. This is really important. So the San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee they've submitted their recommendations to the Board of Supervisors to have them review the recommendations so that they can vote on those recommendations for reparations, all right, for Black San Franciscans. So let me share the screen. Let's see here. Yeah. Final report is here, and there are recommendations. Okay, and so let me read through them really quickly. Based on the information above, the following policy, 102. Okay, okay. Based on the research findings, let's analyze the different, no. That's eligibility criteria. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Here we are. Okay. Again, you can find the full report from the African American Reparations Advisory Committee of San Francisco. You can find the report at www.sfreparations.org. Okay. That's sfreparations.org. So here's what the committee recommends. Based on the information above, the following policy recommendations are proposed for reparations in San Francisco. Number one, comprehensive reparations program. Develop and implement a comprehensive reparations program that addresses historical, and ongoing discrimination Black residents face in San Francisco. This program should include financial benefits, educational opportunities, housing assistance, and targeted support for entrepreneurship. Economic empowerment for Black businesses, provide financial benefits such as grants and low-interest loans to support the growth and sustainability of Black-owned businesses, implement policies to reserve a percentage of public and private contracts for Black-led firms, community safety and connectedness, prioritize safety initiatives, including increased alternatives to incarceration and community-led initiatives for policing and creating safe spaces, particularly for children. Improve community cohesiveness through partnerships with local organizations to promote neighborhood connection, equitable distribution of services and benefits, ensure that services and financial benefits are distributed equitably amongst all San Francisco residents, regardless of neighborhood or socioeconomic status, to address disparities and promote inclusivity. Establish a low barrier mechanism to receive access to service. Support for seniors, elderly, and disabled. Develop targeted programs and services to address the specific needs of seniors, elderly individuals, and disabled members of the Black community, including affordable housing, healthcare, transportation, and social support networks. Access to funding for genealogy research and DNA testing. Allocate resources to fund genealogy research and free DNA testing to determine eligibility for reparations, ensuring inclusivity. And those DNA findings are going to be important. That's why I recommended at the top of this show that you do your genealogy or your ancestry, okay? Number 7, holistic approach to reparations includes developing programs and initiatives that take a holistic and Afrocentric approach to reparations, addressing multiple areas of systemic discrimination, such as education, employment, and mental health services, and addressing intersectionalities. Affordable housing for Native San Franciscans. Prioritize affordable housing initiatives to enable Native San Franciscans, including Black residents, to return to the city like me, and implement rent control measures, housing subsidies, and incentives for affordable housing development. Equal treatment and accountability. Advocate for equal treatment under the law for all races and hold those responsible for perpetuating discrimination accountable. Implement policies to combat racial profiling and bias in the criminal justice system, and ensure equal access to legal representation. Increase data collection and transparency, reporting standards
in employment data for both the private and public sectors, because they lie, basically. Mental health support address the over medication and misdiagnosis of mental health issues within the Black community, increase mental health services, promote culturally competent healthcare providers, and raise awareness to reduce stigma. These policy recommendations aim to address the research findings on reparations in San Francisco and provide a framework for developing inclusive, equitable, and effective reparations programs. It is crucial to engage in ongoing dialogue with the community policymakers and relevant stakeholders to refine and implement these recommendations in a manner that respects the unique needs and aspirations of the Black community in San Francisco. All right, there's a conclusion here. Let's see. Oh, it's not too long. Let me read it. In conclusion, the research findings presented in this report highlight the urgent need for reparations in San Francisco and provide valuable insights into the diverse perspectives and priorities of the community. The overwhelming recognition of historical and ongoing discrimination against Black residents emphasizes the importance of redress and equitable distribution of services and benefits. The findings underscore the significance of addressing housing injustice and systemic racism and preserving history and culture. The recommendations in this report include establishing a comprehensive reparations program, financial support for Black businesses, and prioritizing education and healthcare, provide a roadmap for rectifying past injustices and creating a more just and inclusive society in San Francisco. The demographic analysis of survey participants reveals the relevance and significance of longtime residents' opinions and experiences in the discourse surrounding reparations. The diversity of age of groups, gender identities, and racial and ethnic backgrounds represented in the survey underscores the need for inclusive dialogue and community engagement in addressing reparations and systemic racism. These findings also shed light on the concerns related to housing affordability, displacement, and the impact of gentrification on the perspectives of individuals within the community. These insights highlight the complex nature of the issue and the importance of considering a range of factors when formulating reparations policies. The research findings also provide insights into the level of support for different eligibility criteria, while household income, prioritizing people living in previous red line communities and addressing the needs of vulnerable groups, garnered substantial support. Excuse me. Including factors such as length of residence and tracing ancestry received less support. Excuse me. A lot of reading, as you can see, but I'm happy to be doing this reading for you. Okay. So these findings demonstrate the importance of carefully considering eligibility criteria to ensure equitable outcomes and address the historical and ongoing impacts of systemic racism in San Francisco. Excuse me. That's where I'm going to end that reading, okay? Again, if you want to get your hands on the report, you can visit www.sfreparations.org. There's the website address running in the ticker below. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Clari-T Media. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast. Tonight's broadcast was meant to tell the stories of you and your family's experiences in San Francisco, and explain, I was hoping you would explain how you and your family were affected, you know, in different ways, how you might have been discriminated against, how you may have been harmed by systems in San Francisco, all laid out in the two reports produced by the San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee. So while no one is speaking up, maybe everybody's just plain old tired. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe people are tired of talking about it. You know, maybe some folks are just really tired. I know I am, as you can see. I have a parched throat here. I'm all dry. Okay? Not literally, but I mean, I am getting older. And as some young folks would call me, dusty. Whatever. I'm doing the work. This is the work. This is the work that needs to be done until I'm dusty and dead. Okay? Until I'm gone. I know that's kind of harsh, but listen, that's what it comes down to. Until my last breath, I will do this work. Looks like I may have some comments. Okay. All right. All right. Yes, we do have some comments here. Let me include them. Okay, so let me make sure that I can say this right. Aula Hiroshima says, we are not asking for unreasonable support. We are asking for what is owed. Yes, that is the fact. That is a fact. Thank you, Aula. Far from dusty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. I really appreciate you adding your comment because I haven't had much in the way of folks showing up tonight, but that's okay. I had to include my own story, my own example of my family's history in San Francisco. As far as I know, our family showed up in San Francisco in the early 50s. And I do know that my great uncle, Uncle Nicholas Alexander, who was married to my great aunt, they left Jackson, Mississippi, and traveled to San Francisco, got work, and just worked. And my Uncle Nick worked on the Bay Bridge. He helped build the Bay Bridge. Go figure. And it was my understanding that he had a pretty serious fall on the Bay Bridge work that he was doing. Not from the Bay Bridge, as you know, he was doing the work to build it and had a serious injury where he fell and broke both of his legs and ended up having this bow-legged walk, you know. But that came from his injury during the time that he was building the Bay Bridge. My grandfather, my father's father, Harrison Williams, he worked as a mason and he started his own concrete masonry company. And he helped lay concrete in the Transbay Tube. And the Transbay Tube is what Bay Area Rapid Transit trains run through in the Bay from Oakland or from the East Bay to San Francisco. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's getting late. But nevertheless, I'm dedicated to this work. So were my grandparents. They were dedicated, and my great uncle dedicated to the work of building our beautiful city of San Francisco. And I'm proud to say that I worked in San Francisco and helped build that city as well. And you know, like Aula's Aula says, Ms. or Mr. Hiroshima says, we are asking for what is owed, not a handout or unreasonable support. We're asking for what is owed, what we worked for. So I'm looking here at the comments, and let's asking if Uncle Nick was
compensated from the fall, or did they just call it another day? Um, I'm not sure about that, and I can find out because, yeah, something like that you would imagine um, would be compensated. They would have, made a way for him to receive some kind of workers' comp insurance for the rest of his life. But I will be looking into that, but that's just one of those ways of redressing and repairing any harm, okay? My roots are beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy that you could join me here tonight. So let me say thank you to everyone else who joined here tonight on Clari-T Media. Human stories and grassroots solutions. Out of chaos always comes clarity. There's always another side. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, okay? And there's always repair after harm, okay? We're going to get that, like everyone else who had to have uh, some justice. Black people in this country have to have justice. We have to have justice. We have to have justice. Yes, we have to have justice. All right. So thank you for your support. You can play this recording back, share it with your friends and family, share the news about the September 19th meeting at the Board of Supervisors there. The rally begins at 12. The Board of Supervisors hearing begins at 3 p.m. at City Hall in room 250. The African American Reparations Advisory Committee and the Board of Supervisors will meet to discuss the final recommendations for reparations, all right, in San Francisco. And as far as I know, the Board of Supervisors will vote on that day to approve reparations for Black San Franciscans. And let me tell you, when that happens, and I know it will happen, we will be making national and international news. Don't forget tonight's broadcast here. I'm a part of what's been happening. I have not missed a meeting with the San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee. I haven't missed a meeting. I'm dedicated to this. I'm sharing this broadcast with you because this is my way of fighting for reparations and justice. This is my way. I go to some meetings, and I participate in the rallies, but this is what I do. Media is my thing, broadcast is my thing, radio and television are my thing. I've been doing it since 1988, and I continue to do it. I went to school for it, graduated, have 3 degrees in it, and I'm serious about this, okay? Yeah, I'm only doing it on the social media level, but this is an important process. Somebody's going to see this. And if one person sees it, that's enough. If one person participates in the rally, makes their voice heard, that's enough. That one voice can be enough. Enough has happened to me and my family that I can tell the story of my mom. I can tell the story of my Uncle Nick. I can tell the story of my grandparents. I can tell my story. I can tell my brother's story. I can tell my father's story. That is enough. But can you imagine the unity? Can you imagine how much more strength we would have if we were all united? If we had more allies, man, we could really move some mountains. That like they used to, like our ancestors did. All right. Thank God for them. All right, so this is where I say good night, you guys. It's been a long broadcast. It's been a long night. I want to thank you all again for tuning in and share this information with your friends and family. I can't say that enough. This is really important time for us. If you missed anything, just play it back. All right. And I'll see you in the near future. Tonight, I'll be broadcasting again. Hopefully, I'll see some more folks showing up at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So good night.
All right, good night.
You're watching Clari-T Media. Out of chaos comes clarity.
Today's live stream is being brought to you by Clari-T Media. Support the San Francisco Dreamkeeper Initiative, recognizing and investing in the diverse Black and African American communities of San Francisco with a wide range of programs to support youth, families, seniors, and members of the Black LGBTQ+ communities. Dreamkeeper San Francisco is fostering hope for generations of Black people to feel free to dream boldly. Visit dreamkeepersf.org today.